Welcome to the 2026 Prebys Leadership Awards celebration. We're happy to have you here. I want you to know that this is about community. We went to our convenings where even the medical researchers, I guess I didn't expect it, but they're like, we want our community celebration to feel more like a block party, like people are welcome. And also those of you who are over there, feel free to come on over. So that's what we're giving you tonight. This is an experiment. Are you doing good so far? Okay. One thing I'm going to ask you to do, because I want to make sure that you're warmed up when the ceremony starts. I want you to learn to look at the person next to you, turn either way, and tell them one thing that you love about San Diego. You have 30 seconds. Go. All right. Did you guys have some good answers out there? You folks have good answers. Can someone shout out an answer that they said? What else? The beach, yeah, that's obvious, but that's a good answer. Anything that surprised you? Okay, I'm gonna tell you a couple of things that surprise me every day. We have hundreds of leaders across this county who are amazing. So that you all know, we had more than 324 nominations for the Prebys Leadership Awards this year. So I wanna be really clear. There are 5 people getting awards tonight. Those 5 people represent their community, the staff, the board, all those folks that they work with, the youth, doesn't matter. But I want you to know that just because you didn't get the award tonight, or just because you did, there's lots of awesome people. That is the thing that is the best about all of San Diego County. Can you give yourselves a round of applause? Right on, right on. Before we kick off that ceremony, though, I want to invite up our vice presidents of the program, the best duo in all of San Diego, Chris and Emily.
I'm Emily Young, and I am co-VP of Programs with Chris Sitchell over here. And we're so delighted to have all of you here tonight to celebrate and really elevate leaders in our community. And I think all of you would agree that leadership really matters, and we can especially see it at times like we have right now, where there's so many different kinds of challenges coming down the pike. We've gone through a pandemic together, and now we're seeing a lot of changes at the federal level that are really cascading through our communities at the state and local level. And what is so impressive is how leaders across the community, across the nonprofit sector, have really stepped up. They've been agile, they've been responsive, they've been creative, they've been inventive. And that's what makes our community so special. It's what makes our community really thrive. And it's something that really inspires us here at the Prebys Foundation and will certainly guide us in the work that we're doing over the upcoming few years and really looking at how we can best support the community and really ensuring that we're protecting the core of what is special, what is vital about the San Diego region, what really sustains us, and looking at ways that we can tackle big problems and also invent the future together. And I'm going to turn it over to Chris.
Thank you, Emily. My grandfather, Stanley Field, had a tradition. Whenever he was in front of a group, he would propose a toast. Now, I don't have a glass of anything, and if you have a glass of something or just raise your hands. He would always say, "Cheers to us, the best people we know." Now that sounds funny, but if you look around this room, we've got some of the most inspired, dedicated leaders and generations of leaders in this facility. And you will very rarely see such a collection of leaders that we have here today. So here's to us, the best people we know. And I want to share a couple thoughts to our nonprofit leaders and those who support our nonprofit leaders. Nothing can change in the world without dedicated and capable leaders that show up every single day and that are laser focused on their missions and the people who support them. We often say that we live in interesting times, and I think that's just a euphemistic way of saying we live in difficult times. But that's when leaders matter most. And we've got leaders here who are more dedicated than most. So we encourage all of you who are leaders to take care of yourselves and others as the first priority in the work that you do. Because if you aren't well, and if your tanks aren't full, it's going to be very, very difficult to serve the communities that you serve so diligently. Tonight's celebration is really about leadership, community leadership, individual leadership, and everyone in this facility has contributed to that. At Prebys, we're proud to honor these leaders, and we're proud to be in community with each of you. And without further ado, I would like to bring up our President and CEO, Grant Oliphant, to take the show.
Good evening, everybody. It is really a genuine pleasure and honor, and I am blown away by how many of you have turned out on this beautiful evening. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this group of people in this room. And I'll just quickly say a few words about why in the run-up to expressing gratitude and praise for our honorees this evening. Before I do that, Crystal has given me one very specific assignment, which is to make sure I thank the right people. And I want to start off, this is not on her list, but I want to thank the extraordinary Crystal Page. And yes, I will pay for that later, but it is really important when you are privileged to get to work with exceptional people to acknowledge that. And I get to work with the best team in all of San Diego, and I'm grateful for it every day. So I just want to thank all of them as a group. I also want to extend my deepest thanks to our board, many of whom are here tonight. An exceptional board that has helped this foundation, I think, really develop the vision that we had for it several years ago, and that Conrad laid the seeds for when he created the foundation all those many years ago. So thank you to my board members who are here. That includes ones by name who are on our selection committee, Peter Ellsworth, Irma Makota, Constance Carroll, and as well, non-board members David Miyashiro, Walter Lamb, Linda Katz, and Crystal Page. It would not have been possible to select the group that we have tonight without that group, so thank you to you. This is an extraordinarily rigorous process. I don't know how many of you caught it, but Crystal mentioned the number of nominees that we had, and it was 300 and how many? So a lot. We had over 300, and in part that was because we had very conscientious nominators in the community. I don't want you necessarily to out yourself, but can we thank the nominators who contributed to tonight's celebration. And I want to thank Capital Impact, our very important consultant who works with us on the administration of this prize, as well as everybody along the way who has helped us reflect on this program and tell stories about this program. The point, in a way, is that this, like everything, is a community project. And as we start this evening, what I really want to underscore is that we are living through a moment that uniquely brings home the importance of leaders. If I can ask you for a moment, and this is a bit of a gamble with a rowdy, rambunctious group, but if you would for just a moment humor me and sit quietly for a few seconds and bring to mind a leader in your life, not a politician necessarily, not who we usually think of as leaders, but a person who is a leader in your life, who made a difference in your life, and who made you who you are and brought you to the point you are in on your personal journey. Can you just sit and say thank you to that person for a moment? One of the things I am struck by is when people reflect on leaders in their lives, they have no shortage of who comes to mind. And yes, they run the gamut from political figures to moms and dads to teachers, but they are people who share certain qualities. We've used the phrase all in here because that captures so much of what good leaders represent. They're all in now because they were all in before. They're all in the sense that they care about everybody being allowed in. They're all in the sense they apply all of themselves to sharing their success with the success of the people that they care about and love. I'm very taken at the moment with a concept that I wrote about recently of La Querencia, the notion of a place on the ground where we come to know who we are again when pushed and pushed and pushed to betray our own principles, where we know once more who we are and what we stand for. In an era that is crying out for courage and creativity and compassion, community is where we find it. And the reason that we have the Prebys Leadership Program is because we believe over and over again it is important to bring home the importance of leaders like the 5 we are celebrating tonight, the importance of the qualities that they represent, and the extent to which we all share them. So with that, I want to say thank you for being here to be part of this celebration, for celebrating these 5, but through celebrating them, celebrating the qualities of community that they embody for all of us. And we'll be doing this many times during the evening, but if you would take just a moment to applaud our 5 recipients, I would appreciate it. All right, that also gave me time to cheat and look at what I was supposed to do next, which is to invite up our first presenters, Board and Selection Committee member Peter Ellsworth and Constance Carroll.
Thank you, Grant, very much, and good evening, everyone. Truly an honor to be part of this year's selection process. The nominees were extraordinary, so the choices were not easy. But tonight, I'm proud to present our first award to someone who really exemplifies what it means to be a true leader, who is all in for those he serves and for the community. Renata Paiva of Access Youth Academy. I have followed Renata's work at Access Youth Academy for years and have had the privilege of observing how that work has really changed lives quietly, steadily, and profoundly. Renata envisions a city where every child, regardless of zip code or income, has access to the relationships and opportunities that each one of them needs to reach their full potential. His work directly addresses this objective by providing lasting change and opportunity one student at a time. For 20 years, Renato has been the constant presence at Access Youth Academy. With the help of an amazing board of leaders, he's established the Academy in a combination of a nationally recognized urban squash center and a 14-year youth development model that combines academic support, life skills, confidence, and excellence. And the results, they speak for themselves. 100% high school graduation rate, 100% college acceptance rate, with 18 million in student-earned scholarships and graduates attending some of the nation's most prestigious universities. And beyond the numbers, if you visit Access Youth, you can see how Renato has created a culture of belonging, a safe space where young people feel seen, supported, and challenged to grow. Alumni describe him as a father figure, someone who never stops believing in them. Renato is truly all in for youth access participants and their families. And by providing this community with these fantastic young people of excellence and confidence, the long-term effect of his work will be brought to many of us for benefit of all. Please join me in welcoming our Prebys Leadership Award honoree, Renato Paiva.
So first of all, I want to thank the Prebys Foundation, from committee members, Grant, Chris, Crystal, and everybody that was involved with this. I'm really honored to be part of this group, so thank you very much for thinking about my work and the work that we do at Access. I want to thank the other 4 winners. I'm so happy that we're in the same class and we're here together celebrating each other. I think I'm really honored to be with you in this one. Access Youth Academy is a non-traditional nonprofit because we help our students using the very famous sport of squash. So we jokingly say that squash in San Diego is like beach volleyball in Alaska. So we're not supposed to happen, but we did. And within the past 20 years, we've done some amazing success, and Pete mentioned some of them. This innovative choice of choosing how we serve kids comes with an incredible perspective. I happen to be employee number 1 for Access. My wife and I used to live in Boston, and we moved to San Diego to start this crazy idea. And being employee number 1 and having social entrepreneurship in my veins, I believe that the journey is incredible. I've learned so much along the way. Which includes from 2006, we were serving 18 incredible students, and today, 2026, we serve 700 students. So, and I just wanted a quick shout out. One of them is in the back of their recording. She's a graduate of UCLA. I love you, girl. Thanks for coming. And when Grant and the Prebys Foundation brought the theme of all in, I would never be here wasn't for the help of so many. So I want to just highlight some groups that was part of my journey. One of them is my board. I have a table full of my board members, including our founder, a lot of board members, past chair, current chair. Without giving me the trust to do my job, I wouldn't be here. So thank you very much. Second, I want to thank the staff. Within 20 years, so many people came through our staff, and we're happy to have incredible, passionate people to work on a daily basis. So I love the staff we have at Access. We got to also mention our funders. If you guys don't invest in places like our nonprofits, we cannot do our work. So thanks for investing and believing that we can do our jobs. I want to thank our students and our families for giving 14 years of your kids' life to us. Our program serves kids from 10 years old to 24 years old. So there's 14 critical years. Can be a little crazy sometimes, but it's working out. And I want to thank my family. So I promise I was not going to cry today. I'm not going to cry today. I want to thank my wife and my 3 daughters. They're here today. And the reason, when we say all in, I want to share a quick story about all in. They do not know I'm saying this story, so 20 seconds. Brace with me. 2009, my wife was pregnant pregnant, 9 months. And we had 2 vans to drive kids to program. I was the only employee. I didn't have a second employee. So I said, love, you gotta drive the van with me again. And she says, babe, I'm having contractions. I'm gonna have my baby today. I said, just 40 minutes. Please be all in. Quick note, the second car she was driving was donated by my father-in-law, that's also here. So she did drive, the kids came to practice, and then she came back home and the water broke. And we have my first daughter, Marina, she's here. So that's the story about the all-in in my family. If it wasn't for my family, this Access Youth Academy wouldn't be here for sure. And to finish it up, Grant says to leaders like us, be bold, be courageous. And I believe the 5 of us are doing that. We are bold, we are courageous, and I'm really happy.
We're going to do a quick transition and move the podium so we don't have any more feedback issues. So Dr. Carol, hold on one moment.
Caroline Cara Desert leads the LGBT Center with courage and conviction. Her vision is rooted in equity and thriving futures for LGBTQ plus individuals, for immigrants, and people living with HIV. As a queer Latina and civil rights attorney, Cara brings both lived experience and legal expertise to her work. She believes liberation must be collective and community-led, and that belief shows in everything she does. Under her leadership, the center has grown in powerful ways. She has led a strategic planning process that engaged more than 2,000 community members, ensuring its direction reflects the voices of those it serves. The results are tangible. The center established San Diego County's first LGBTQ plus affirming emergency youth shelter, expanding capacity from 4 beds to 43, with most youth transitioning into more stable housing. She also spearheaded the opening of the South Bay Youth Center, addressing long-standing inequities in access to care. As the first person of color to serve as CEO of the center's 50-year history, Cara has built a team that reflects the diversity and strength of the community itself. At a time when LGBTQ plus rights face renewed challenges, Cara does not retreat. She stands firm, she builds coalitions, and she continues pushing forward. And that's what it means to be all in. Please join me in honoring our Prebys Leadership Award recipient, Cara Desert.
I stand on the shoulders of 5 generations of leaders who have built the center and with it our community's power, like Dr. Dolores Jacobs, Dr. Sean Travers, Dr. Kim Fountain, our board staff, volunteers, donors, and partners who make our impact possible. I am profoundly grateful to the Prebys Foundation for this honor. Grant, thank you for your vision in pursuing transformative change. And thank you to Crystal, Constance, Irma, Dara Johnson, and Linda Katz for being champions for our community. To my wife, Lisa, I could not do this work without you, and I'm so proud of the life we have built for us, for our children, and for our community. To my family, given and chosen, thank you for your immeasurable support that lifts me up and holds me down, depending on the day. This award means so much to me and to our center community. For 54 years, the center has been on the front lines of the fight for our rights, our families, and our dignity. We began as a phone line in a closet, and are now the largest LGBTQ organization in our binational region and the heart of this community, providing life-saving services, affirming spaces, and bold advocacy. This past year, LGBTQ people, especially our transgender, non-binary, and immigrant communities, have faced continued attacks on their rights from the federal government. 2 weeks ago, Rady Children's Hospital shut down its gender-affirming care for youth, closing the only remaining door to this critical health care in our region. In this climate, with doors to support closing, the center had the audacity to open a new one. Last year, we opened Safe Stay, our region's first and one of the largest LGBTQ emergency housing programs for youth. When our community's demand for services surged last year, we answered the call, providing critical services a record 109,000 times. And we expanded our advocacy work to amplify our community's voices and to protect these life-saving programs. I know progress is not linear, and despite this chapter in our history, I have enduring hope for our future, inspired by the next generation. Today, LGBTQ+ youth are coming out younger than ever, inspiring generations of family and friends to change their minds, open their hearts, and to join us as allies in our movement. Their courage and audacious spirit give me hope and inspire me to continue this fight, to keep our doors open even wider and to open new ones. It is our duty to build for the next generation what we wish we had. When I was a queer teenager in El Centro, there were no LGBT spaces. And what we have built at the center is beyond anything I could have imagined then. Our Hillcrest and South Bay Youth Centers are a love letter and survival guide to our youth. Here they are welcomed, valued, and celebrated. They are part of a movement of love, equality, and justice. No matter what happens in their day, when they walk through our doors, they will find help and joy. At the center, I am surrounded by everyday heroes who serve and fight for our community today and help us build a better tomorrow. That takes all of us. Because when LGBTQ+ people and our allies lock arms, it's not just powerful, it's pure magic. And it's why every single time in our history that we've been pushed backwards, from Stonewall to today, we have found a way to come back stronger and win. I invite you all to be a part of that magic. Be all in for a San Diego where every person can live with pride, dignity, and possibility. Be all in for a San Diego where every person, including the 300,000 LGBT San Diegans, can thrive. Be all in for the next generation of leaders driving transformational change. Leaders like Sarah McBride, the first transgender person elected to Congress, who said that this moment in our history can be our slingshot moment, where yes, we're pulled backwards, but if we fight back with our collective power, the pressure and tension of that backwards pull can catapult us to places we have never been. Together, we can slingshot forward and create a San Diego for all of us. Thank you so much for this honor. I'll give this back.
Tonight we celebrate a leader whose work is grounded in a simple but powerful belief that justice in the law and legal representation is not a privilege, is a right. It is my honor to introduce our Prebys Leadership Award honoree, Carmen Chavez, Executive Director of Casa Cornelia Law Center. Carmen, you made a difference, judging by those applause. The house is coming down. For nearly 3 decades, Carmen has worked to ensure that access to legal counsel does not depend on social, economic, or immigration status. Her guiding light is justice with compassion. She has dedicated her career to removing barriers that prevent immigrants and refugee families from finding safety and stability. Under her leadership, Casa Cornelius has become one of San Diego's most respected public law centers. It provides free legal services to undocumented, unaccompanied children and low-income immigrants who suffer from human and civil rights violations. Carmen's leadership is both compassionate and strategic. She began as a volunteer and rose to the position of executive director, embodying leadership that serves the community. She has championed a trauma-informed, culturally rooted model that integrates mental health referrals and social support services with high-quality legal representation. The impact is extraordinary. In 2024, they serviced 3,000 cases, and within the last 3 years, they have serviced more than 8,000 individuals who have received free legal services, including asylum seekers and survivors of serious crimes. Because of this work, children fleeing violence are not deported without representation. They secure legal protection, reunite with family, pursue their education, and begin building stable lives. Carmen is recognized for being a bridge builder, partnering with schools, shelters, and law firms to extend access to justice. She leads with integrity, humanity, and deep respect for the dignity of every person she serves. At a time when immigration remains one of the most urgent humanitarian issues facing our region and our country, Carmen's work is guiding and leading Casa Cornelius is not only life-changing, but life-saving. Please join me to honor a tireless advocate and visionary leader, our Prebys Leadership Award honoree, Carmen Chavez.
I don't stand here alone. I am so grateful to the Prebys Foundation and to those who made all of these difficult. I didn't realize there was over 300 persons, and so I am deeply humbled to receive this award. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to the philanthropy community who make it possible. I'm here tonight with my wonderful husband, our founder, Sister Ann Durst, our board members, our supporters, and our incredible staff, which nothing I do alone. And they're out there somewhere, and I'm so grateful, and all of my dear friends that were able to come here tonight. Indeed, I am so proud to stand alongside leaders who are strengthening San Diego in so many different ways. I accept this award on behalf of all of Casa Cornelia Law Center team, our staff, volunteer attorneys, interpreters, translators, board members, community partners, and most importantly, the clients that we serve day in and day out, whose spirit is what keeps us going. It keeps us going forward, knowing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, even though it takes struggle, even though it takes keen legal argument and preparation. And most of all, it takes a community of team members who are working together, who value justice with compassion. This recognition tonight reflects what is possible when a community commits to justice, dignity, and shared responsibility, because it's all of us, all of us. So, I began at Casa Cornelia. I'm looking at this almost 3 decades ago as a volunteer before I even went to law school. And my journey continued. I fell in love with the people. I fell in love with the work. And of course, there was always a constant challenge that needed to be taken. So I humbly, and I think courageously, accepted the challenges. Why? Because I saw the transformative power of legal representation for the most vulnerable. We are a San Diego-based nonprofit legal services organization. All the persons that we help, we do so free of charge. And we are committed to quality legal services to ensure that each client is treated with respect and dignity, and that we will fight for them. And indeed, today and last week, as I was meeting with staff, the attorneys, and all of those involved, we're talking about a very passionate social justice warriors, and I'm so honored to be with them. As we move forward, we continue to serve asylum seekers, unaccompanied children, and survivors of serious crimes, individuals all of whom are navigating a complex legal system without the means to afford a private attorney. In today's immigration environment, families face profound uncertainty, aggressiveness, and at times, family separation. But the laws evolve. They've always evolved. Policies shift. Sometimes it seems overnight. I have been talking to the attorneys, and it feels like whiplash. Every morning, there's something new. So it does require a lot of diligence. But one principle remains constant. Due process matters. It matters to our clients. It matters to us as a staff. And you know, it should matter to each one of you. I add that ensuring every person has access to a fair hearing is not about politics. It really isn't. It's about the integrity of our legal system, which needs to have its place. When we uphold the rule of law with compassion, we reinforce public trust and strengthen the social fabric of our region and all of our society. What impacts one member of our community affects us all. Being all in means recognizing that the stability of immigrant families and young people is directly connected to the stability of our broader community. And that's why I believe our work matters, and the impact is palpable. When a survivor of violence gains legal protection, they can work, contribute, and rebuild. When a child receives stability instead of uncertainty, that child becomes part of San Diego's future, workforce, leadership, and civic life. Justice with compassion creates ripple effects that extend far beyond any single case. Access to legal representation is one of the clearest ways we can promote safety, accountability, and opportunity in our communities. And so I invite each one of you so that we can lead together. This award is not simply recognition. It's an opportunity for collective action. And I call on your collective action, our collective action. To the attorneys in the room, partner with us in our pro bono representation. Your expertise can change the trajectory of a family's life. To multilingual leaders and professionals, please lend your language skills as interpreters and translators. Language access is access to justice. To philanthropic and civic leaders, please invest in due process, support sustainable legal services that protect the most vulnerable, and strengthen institutional fairness. To fellow community leaders, please help elevate informed dialogue about immigration rooted in dignity, facts, and shared responsibility. Access to justice should not depend on income. It depends on leadership. The persons that we serve want what each of us want: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. What they want is what we want. We are one, regardless of where one was born. And so we are here. All of us represent, as I'm looking around, I see so much diversity. And I'm grateful for that. We are proud to be all in for San Diego. And when we commit to justice with compassion, we are not only defending individual rights, we are defending the character of our community. Thank you so much for this award and for this recognition. I am very humbled and I'm very grateful.
Tonight we celebrate a leader who has harnessed the power of media arts as a force for social justice and community transformation. It is my pleasure to introduce our Prebys Leadership Award honoree, Ethan Van Tilo. Founder of the Media Arts Center San Diego. For more than 33 years, Ethan has worked to challenge the stereotyped ways communities of color are portrayed in mass media. What began as the San Diego Latina Film Festival has grown into a powerful platform, empowering communities to tell their own stories and see themselves reflected with authenticity and pride. Ethan is not a gatekeeper. He is a door opener. He has consistently removed barriers so that all San Diegans can access film, education, and creative production opportunities. His impact is remarkable. The Digital Gym Cinema is now the last independently owned house cinema in San Diego and the only movie theater in downtown, preserving the shared experience of film while promoting cultural diversity. Each year, the Latina Film Festival provides more than 1,500 students with free screenings through 2Cine outreach program. Educational initiatives like Young Producers Project serve over 1,700 youth annually with accessible storytelling workshops. And through Media Arts Center, San Diego's Community Production Department, more than $4 million has been regranted to local artists, filmmakers, and organizations. For over 3 decades, Ethan's work has impacted more than 500,000 people, opening doors, shaping careers, and strengthening representation in our region. He leads with humility and inclusivity, creating spaces where, as one colleague put it, there are no velvet ropes. Please join me in honoring a visionary who has transformed San Diego through art, access, and authentic storytelling. Our Prebys Leadership Award honoree, Ethan Van Tilo.
This is beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, it's best that I don't hold that beautiful glass piece. That's incredible. Thank you very much, everybody. I want all of you to close your eyes for a little bit. This is a participatory event. I want you to close your eyes. You're sitting in a dark theater, maybe comfy chairs, maybe not. You smell the popcorn. You might hear it popping in the distance. All of a sudden, the projector rolls, because I'm old. So you hear a 35 millimeter projector in the back of your mind. You look behind you, you see a beam of light. That beam of light projects on this screen. This is a screen of empathy. This is a screen of hope. This is a screen of wonder, of celebration, of inclusiveness. We've heard it all tonight. This is a screen that tells all the stories that we heard tonight. I'm constantly reminded by the light, the beam of light, which is our movie theater. People ask me, how do I do this for 33 years? I don't know. But one thing I know is that right before the film festival, which is coming up March 18th or 22nd, everybody, so you better be there. A month before the film festival is always the toughest time as a leader, as an organization, as the staff will tell you. A month before, we have to get the catalog printed, get the films online, tell everyone about the amazing films, over 150 films that we're screening. It's stressful. It's painful. How do we push that boulder up the hill every year as leaders? And the leaders here that are honored here know that pain. They know that struggle. How I get through it every year is there's a song. There's a melody. There's a beat that says to me, "Sí se puede." Can you say that? Sí se puede. A couple years ago, it was Palante by Hooray Riff Raff. This year, it's Silvana Estrada. Anyone know Silvana Estrada? A Mexicana from Veracruz, wonderful musician. She has a song called Un rayo de luz, a beam of light. That beam of light that comes out of the projection booth. We're going to try something, everybody, because I know there's some musicians in the room here. I'm going to shout out to my musician friends here. We're going to sing it all together, okay? I'm going to sing falsetto because that's what she does. She starts the song. Un rayo de luz en un cuarto vacío. Sing with me. Un rayo de luz en un cuarto vacío. One more time, by yourself. Thank you for indulging me. And make sure you listen to Silvana Estrada. A ray of light. I'm only here because of the ray of lights that brought me here on this stage. A shout out to all my wonderful board members, former and present board members of the organization, mentors. A shout out to my family, my father, my wonderful partner, Mary. Everyone in my family who have been a ray of light for me, and my beautiful mother who's not here tonight, who passed away over a year ago. My mother was a ray of light. She taught me that no human being is born with hate. They're not born with hate. But we, as leaders and organizations, we must be the ray of light. We must show everybody, teach them empathy, teach them social justice. And that's how I live my life. That's how I want the organization to be remembered for many years to come. Speaking of the organization, wouldn't be here at all for 33 years without the incredible staff. So my staff, please stand up, raise your hands. A good leader is only as good as the staff, and incredible hard work and every day supporting the mission and vision of the organization. So I leave you today with that message. Every day, wake up. Try to be a ray of light for someone, whoever it is. Whoever it is around you, you might not know them either. In this world, currently we're living in darkness and craziness. We need those ray of lights. We need those more leaders. And every one of you in this room is really a true leader. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for Prebys Foundation for supporting.
Tonight we celebrate a leader whose work is not about fixing broken systems, but about proving that every young person has the potential to lead, to create, and to thrive. It's my honor to introduce our Prebys Leadership Award honoree, Brandon Stepp, founder and executive director. Founder and executive director of the David's Heart Foundation. For 15 years, Brandon has been driven by a powerful belief justice involved in disconnected youth should be defined not by their past, but by their potential. He's built an ecosystem where young people are empowered through music, media production, trusted mentorship, and real economic opportunity. Brandon's approach is deeply innovative. While many interventions focus on compliance, he centers creativity, trust, and belonging. Where young people are empowered through music. His work begins inside detention facilities, but continues into the community with consistent mentorship, workforce training, and transitional living. A couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to tour the court and community schools of San Diego. I didn't know what I was seeing, but I saw firsthand your program. And when I talked to the children, they were not just engaged in their learning, they were hopeful, and they could articulate, not just be hopeful about, but articulate their future. The impact is life-changing. In 2023 alone, the David's Heart Foundation served more than 500 youth, including 95% of young people incarcerated in San Diego County. Youth in the program increased their GPA, they re-engaged in school, and many have gone on to launch youth-run media businesses, generating hundreds and thousands of dollars in revenue. At the heart of Brandon's leadership is youth power. More than half of his staff are former program participants, and he's already mentoring the next generation of leadership who will carry this work forward. Brandon Stepp is redefining what justice can look like in San Diego, grounded in dignity, opportunity, and hope. Please join me in honoring our Prebys Leadership Award honoree, Mr. Brandon Stepp.
Good evening, and thank you, Prebys Foundation, for this remarkable honor. And for recognizing leaders across San Diego County. Congratulations to my fellow recipients. I'm humbled to be in your company. I want to begin with legacy tonight, because I didn't invent the values that brought me here. I inherited them. My family taught me leadership in layers, one generation at a time, handing something sacred down from one generation to the next. It begins with my great-grandmother, Laura Kraft, who, when doors were closed to her, she founded the Women's Civic League here in San Diego, not too far from here. She taught me that when people are not being heard or welcomed, the response is to build. That legacy carried forward through my grandparents. Cecil and Evelyn Stepp taught me civic engagement, what it looks like to show up and take responsibility for the community you live in. Viola and Harold Jackson taught me personal attention and love, the kind of care that never makes headlines but changes a life. Together, they taught me that service without love burns out, and love without service stays private. In my father, Russell Stepp, that lesson looked like long nights and open doors. As a firefighter, he spent countless nights at the Black Firefighters Hall on Ocean View Boulevard, creating pathways for Black and brown men, and women to get into the fire department in a time when there were very few. My mother, Kelly Stepp, for her it looked like every day for work and care as an educator who worked tirelessly on behalf of young people, buying school clothes, showing up again and again, and serving as president of the Encanto Little League, creating space for kids, family, and community. And beside me is my wife of 20 years, Eunice. Yeah, clap it up for her. Her sacrifice in faith and love and service has carried this work. She holds me to a high standard of integrity, and it's an honor to link arms with her every day. Across the generations, the lessons have been consistent. People thrive when someone creates space for them. For our gospel-rooted family, the definition of leadership is drawn from the pages of Scripture and seen most clearly in the Lord Jesus Christ, who demonstrated love in action, who compels us to love our neighbor as ourselves, and who washed the feet of his brothers. With that foundation, I want to share 3 moments that shape what I am and who I'm learning to be. Listening. Listening is learning. Listening is leading. Listening is love. Listening is learning. In 2006, I stepped into my father's garage to rebuild a recording studio, and a young man named Ray Vaughn walked in and changed my life. I learned something I've never forgotten. Young people need a space that is theirs, and art is powerful. Over time, that listening became our community pillars, a living, breathing set of lived experiences that we add together as a community each year. Listening is leading. And this work has never been about me. It's about our team, our board, our young people, now comprised of 50% young people who have graduated the program. It's been about Olivia and Destiny, and Cassini, and Riley, and Lily, and King, and Austin, and hundreds of other names and faces we know and love personally. Leadership is building around the truth that you hear. Listening is love. Not long ago, driving from Anaheim from a NAM conference, I listened to a young man describe what it takes to step out of an identity that once kept him alive. And I cried because it was true what he was saying. I could hear the kind of steady investment that it takes to surround a young person with real community access, real opportunity, and consistent love long enough for them to risk becoming someone new. So tonight I receive this award with gratitude and with responsibility. After 17 years of listening to young people, this is what I've learned so far. Young people want real access. Young people want access that's greater, really, than what nonprofit is designed to provide. They do not want to be pushed out of the margins of this county. They want to participate here in this community with real relationships, real opportunity, and real belonging. And that's a high bar, but this is a beautiful room. We have a vision to create space for young people as they come home from incarcerated spaces and as they navigate out of foster care, to connect them to community and to create an economic ecosystem that they can actually own. Years of listening have come together into a continuum of care and community. And the next 5 years of my life are dedicated to building the structures our community needs, because we are creating something greater than any individual can actually produce. We have invested in the next generation of leaders, and they are leading. And they're actually right here. And they are leading. By 2031, I'm committed to handing over the executive directorship of this organization to the next generation of leaders. Not because I'm done, but because it's time for them to take it and lead. And that's what leadership feels like, service and love. I want to thank the Prebys Foundation again. Thank you to my family and the generations who came before me. And thank you most of all to the young people who continue to trust us with the truth. Thank you.